Welcome to DKM episode 43, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is us two flying duos. Daniel and I. Kenny is still feeling a little bit under the weather, as well as he has some other things that he has to deal with. So hopefully all goes well on his end. Hope you guys can keep your thoughts out on him and some just warm vibes to him, and know that he's missed. And hopefully next week will be the us three again. So
Fingers
yeah,
crossed.
fingers crossed. But it's been this whole month apparently that he's been like uber busy. So hopefully everything goes good on his end. But other than that, I'm glad to be here recording with my boy Daniel. My week has been going great. Hopefully your week's been going great, Daniel.
It's been good actually. I've been doing some changes in my life recently. I've decided to start doing a little bit of working out here and
Mm-hmm.
there, getting myself out of the house, exercising, getting on the elliptical bike, walking around the block. I've been really headstrong on tracking my fitness and here and there because man, I am this pandemic and with my personal lifestyle and my work. Has made me gain a lot of weight to the point where like I have to upgrade from a large shirt to an
Mm-hmm.
XL, and man, that kind of made me really depressed. Like I was like the thing that made me want to like start doing this life change was that I was in my job's bathroom. I was on the employee bathroom washing my face, and as I'm washing my face, I look at myself in the mirror and I could see my gut is barely being covered by the shirt that I'm wearing. Now, at first, I just chalked it up as like, well, you wash this shirt so many times that maybe you just shrunk a lot because when you put in clothes in the laundry after a while, they start shrinking after a while.
Yeah, if it spent so
Um,
much time in the dryer too.
yeah, and I remember like I was like lifting my arms up and the shirt would just like rile up to my stomach, and I just felt so embarrassed about it. And I looked at myself and I said, okay, you can either do this is like your crossroads in life, Danny. This is your moment where you could do either one of two things. One, you could just easy it out and just start buying XL shirts and then keep gaining the weight and let your metabolism stop, being a handicap for you and start gaining the more weight and to the point where you just can't get out of bed. You're feeling like shit. I'm already feeling like shit all the damn time. Or you could just start making some changes in your life. So I went with the latter option. So I started working out, getting to the elliptical again, and I'm excited to like get back into the swing of things. So I've been about at the time of this recording about like 3 days into my exercising here and there. But I'm looking forward to get back to the gym, lifting some weights again, and really going hard on this sort of thing because I need to do some serious life changes at this
That's
moment.
good. There's always room for self improvement, and which is great. This is not to say, and I have to say this only because people like this do exist in the world. But just because someone wants to work out and someone doesn't like how they see themselves in the mirror, doesn't mean that they're fat phobic or anything. But it's just someone wanting to make a healthy change in their lives because obviously when it comes to a higher weight in a unhealthy way, I guess, means will lead to unhealthy outcomes. This is by no means trying to fat shame anyone, although I would recommend listening to your doctor if you have the privilege to have a doctor insurance. Whatever they say, just go at it. But it's
Mm.
great seeing you doing this, Daniel. Honestly, as long as you receive sun, like just getting that vitamin D in the day does so much wonders. Just 30 minutes is really what you need to be outside
Yeah.
to get a healthy dose of it. And
Oh, dude, it's also the thing like just me walking around and stuff like, and you brought up the fact about like the people with weight that they also I've been really like adamant. There was like this thing that Joe Rogan says that people who don't exercise, they see exercise as like this moment of discomfort where they're like, oh, I just don't want to do it and this and that. But once you get into it, you look forward to exercising. Because to me, like when I walk around the park, it's like the one moment of my life, one moment during the day where like my brain just completely tunes out. I don't have any thoughts in my head. Like everything, like it's more one of those things during my day where it's like I could smell the roses, I could enjoy the sunlight, I could enjoy everything around me, and I'm not worried about 15 different things and these fucked up questions or thoughts in your brain all day, like taking up all this capacity. It's that moment where you could finally let your brain just decompress and finally like see smell the roses, you know what I'm saying? Because we sit around all day and then later we're all bummed out and like, oh, I'm gaining weight, I'm not doing anything, this and that, and it's like, well, just fucking take a 30-minute walk and then everything looks so much clearer to you. It's like tuning to like a chant like your TV with the tuner, and it's just like you finally get the proper channels and you can see everything so much clearer now. And that's why I look forward to. There hasn't been a moment where I'm like, man, I don't feel like working out. I'm every day when I wake up, I'm like, man, I can't wait to like take a walk or get on the bike or lift some weights and things like that, because I know that for that brief moment, everything, nothing else matters but myself and getting better.
That's true. I think I will say that when it comes to just sitting down constantly, I think when it comes to most people's lives, sitting down has become more of a norm, which has its own health issues. If you're constantly sitting down, then you start getting more weight. You're putting a lot more strain on your hips, and that's why you see a lot of people getting hip replacement surgery when they're older, because obviously the metabolism slow down, you know, and as well as they're gaining weight, they're not eating as much, and they're sitting at their office job, or they're just sitting around doing nothing at home, sitting while driving. So a lot of stress on the hips. Again, I'm not a doctor, but this is just from the experiences I've seen with people who've had hip
But
replacement
also,
surgery.
people just have general. People just also have just really bad posture.
That's true.
Like we just get
100%
so
true.
comfortable with our chairs that like we sit in them. We're in buildings all day with fluorescent lighting, and you know we're sitting in these awkward ass chairs, man. Like I fuck it. I don't know. I feel like that chairs need to have like some sort of like broad demo. Like what's the word I want to use? Like a fucking kind of like an ESRB thing, but they broad them in like the way how comfortable they are, because some of these chairs I've sat on in my life, man, are practically torture to me. I remember this one time I had to get a battery change for my car, right? So I just get out of work. I'm fucking tired. I work the overnight shift. All I want to do is want to go to bed, but I have a lease for my car, and my dealership was like, hey, if you take the car into us, we could get you your battery replaced for free. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just do that right after work. So I get out of work. I get to the dealership and I'm like, hey man, like how long is this gonna take to get my battery replaced? Like, oh man, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're gonna be here for a couple hours.
Damn.
I'm like, hours to get a battery change? He's like, yeah man, sorry, we're really backed up. We got, we're here, we got a lot of shit in the back we got to do. And I'm just like, all right, fuck it. Well, I'm already here. Might as well do it. I'm sitting, so I go to the little waiting area, and the chair that they have is one of those chairs where it's like it's a chair attached to a table, and then it's like an L-shaped setup where there's a chair, a table, and then it turns, and then there's another chair right there. And Jesus Christ, this chair had no fucking cushioning. It felt like, the best way to describe it is like, imagine the bottom of your palm, right where your wrist gets connected to. And it just feels like that's what's hitting on my tailbone the entire day. Like, it was the most uncomfortable chair I've ever sat in my entire life. And I was in that chair, Jesus, I got there at like 7:15. I didn't get out of there until like 11:30 in the morning. Like, it was awful.
They don't take appointments?
Huh? No, dude. It was just, I called them. It's like, hey, can I like just get my battery changed? They're like, well, you got to come and do it, and then later we'll squeeze you in.
Damn.
But I was like, fuck it. I needed a battery changer. It was not like, at that point I was like, if I kept driving, my car would probably get stopped. And plus it's a free battery change, so why the fuck not?
Just a fun fact for anyone who, regardless of where you live, a good, I want to say, time period that you should work when it comes to battery life, it's 2 years. So if there's usually a sticker on top of your car, on top of your car battery, that says the month and the year that the battery was basically installed in, and you can use it to your advantage. You should use it to your advantage, mainly because you want to change it every 2 years. I guess this just comes from me working with cars and just knowing about cars in general, that you need to constantly change something like that. But honestly, like even when it comes to Costco and their tires, because I own Costco tires, I make an appointment ahead of time, because God forbid I'm going to go up to a random Costco after work or some other time without an appointment just to get my tires changed, because those things get packed, and they get packed fast. So it's not something I look forward to if I can't make an appointment, because I just say, hey,
I come I come from the camp that's like, if I have to go to a mechanic early in the morning, I'm gonna park my car at the mechanic shop right before they open, and then just wait. As soon as they open, immediately tell them to fix my car up. Because true. That's just how I do it. That's how I've always been. Like, if I need to go to a mechanic and it's not early in the morning when they just open, I'm just gonna wait until after they I'm gonna wait before they open, and then just sit in the parking lot and wait for them. Funny story too. I forgot what it was. I think it was just had to get an oil change for my car, and I was like really early. I parked my car like at the back of the building, and there's like a parking space like right behind not behind the mechanic, but behind the parking lot. So like there's the mechanic, the parking lot they own, and then there's a parking lot behind them, right?
Right.
And so I parked my car. I'm facing the back of the building, and I'm sitting there and I fall asleep in the car.
Oh,
I woke up 2 hours after the store opened. And I just like, I'm drooling from my face. I'm sweating my balls off. And I'm like, what the fuck?
after work, right?
Oh, shit. After work, yeah, I was exhausted. Like, I got off of work. I pulled up to the parking lot. I waited there. I fell asleep. And then I woke up 2 hours after they opened.
Oh, dang, rip.
Yeah, I was so exhausted. But, yeah, so going back to my point, yeah, that chair experience I had getting my car battery replaced was fucking awful. It was so bad.
That's also true with posture, honestly. When it comes to just overall health, people tend to neg on the whole how important posture is, and it's sort of cringeworthy sometimes because like just having your shoulders roll back and just having that proper posture just anywhere does wonders to you, and it even makes it look like gives you this air of confidence as well. So if you're a guy, you should definitely have posture. You should posture check yourself. Maybe get if you're one of those tech gadget geeks, I guess, that loves having those smartwatches. You can actually install, I think either it's an app or some sort of something similar to it, where you can install a posture thing on it, and it will tell you like, hey, you gotta check your posture. And it's super cool, and you can set alarms too for like hydration, because honestly, like a lot of people should drink a lot more water. It's so much healthier. Even vegetables that carry a bunch of water, like a cucumber, it's super healthy, man. But all in all, honestly, when it comes to sitting down, I guess I've never had that issue because I'm so thick that I was gifted with nice thighs and
Cushiony.
a nice booty that being uncomfortable in a seat doesn't really happen all that often. But I will say though, with regards to your story, I've never liked the idea of leasing a car because changing oil is literally one of the easiest things to do. Changing a battery is even more so, and I need to go to a place that, because my contract says I need to do it, which it makes sense obviously that I have to do it, but I can do it in less time.
No, I mean the reason why I did it with them was because it was free. Like they're like, because it's a lease, you're entitled to free battery changes.
I get it.
So I was like to be honest though, like I get where you're coming from. Like I'm the kind of guy that takes the easy route in most things in life. Like I would pay money to make it easier. Like I was thinking back after everything was said and done, I was like, man, fuck that noise. I know that the battery change was free and it saved me like $80 or something, but man, all that fucking stress and headache I had to deal with was not worth it.
Yeah.
But after everything was said and done, I was like, well, at least it was a free battery change, you know?
Well, then again, you have to measure, or at least price your own time as well, because that's something that people don't take into consideration. Like, sure, you get
time is money,
right?
Yeah.
Your most valuable asset is time. So,
and the funny thing was that like the other part of the story was that this was also when I was gonna buy tickets for the Tyler the Creator concert. I'm gonna go to in March. So what happened was that, all right, so the tickets were going to go on sale on the day I was going to get the battery change, right? So my thought process was like, okay, I get out of work at 7 a.m. I could get to these guys at 7:15. They probably would let me out by like 9 a.m. at the latest. And then later I could go home and buy my tickets, for the concert at, when I get home. I'll be at home. I'll get good internet. I'll be right here refreshing the page. Everything will be set. So I'm just sitting at this place and I'm watching like YouTube videos, and mind you, I'm falling asleep. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm sitting in this uncomfortable ass fucking chair. I'm like trying not to doze off in the fucking room that I'm waiting in, and it's just not a fun time to be there. And so as I'm sitting there, I realized the clock was ticking, and I'm like, okay, it's 7, then 8, then 9, and then it hit 10, and I'm like, oh my god, the tickets are going to go on sale 30 minutes from now. Jesus Christ, what do I do? So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Calm down, Danny. You already downloaded the Ticketmaster app. You already have your login information set. You are golden. Cool. Perfect. So I get to the website. I'm sitting there in the queue, right? And I'm sitting there, and the queue is done, and then I was there. I think by the time like the lines officially started, I was in spot 12, right? In this massive queue line, right?
Wow.
And I'm sitting. Yeah, I got really lucky. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm selected to start picking my tickets. Fucking sweet. I get the best seats for $55 each because it was me, my cousin, and his girlfriend. We're all going together, and I'm like, all right. I set the tickets. I'm setting everything to purchase. Double checked. And mind you, I'm running on fucking fumes. You know when like you get so exhausted, but then you get that extra second wind where you're just like so agitated, but you're like running like a mile a minute with like you know that meme saying is that like I slept for 2 hours. I drank a Red Bull, and I got like 3 thoughts going in my brain at the same time, right? And I'm like, so I'm buying the tickets. I got everything set up, right? And I'm about to check out. And you know when you buy something online, there's like this little cute little check mark that says like check mark here that you have read the terms and service. And I'm like, okay, cool. I swear to God, I'm pressing the fucking check box to say accept terms and service. But some fucking jackass who designed the app decided to put this cute little blue exclamation mark that says click here to read the terms and service.
Oh boy.
I accidentally pressed that. An entirely different window opens up saying, here's the term and service. Okay, cool. I close it. The app restarts, puts me back in the queue line again.
No.
I'm fucking livid. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So then later, I get back in line. Okay, same seats, same ticket price. All right, cool. I put the seats. And this time, I am making sure that I absolutely do not press a fucking thing other than that goddamn checkbox. I'm about to press it. My mom is calling me on the phone wondering where the fuck I am because I haven't been home yet. And I'm like declining the call. Like, don't fucking call me. I'm life or death situation now. And then later, the app freezes up at the checkout, and I can't fucking buy my tickets. So I'm shitting myself thinking, like, what the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do? So I close the app and say, fuck the app. I'm just going to go on the web browser and buy the tickets there. I finally buy the tickets after everything was said and done. I didn't get the seats exactly I wanted, but it was pretty close to what I wanted. But it was still at the great price that I got. And, dude, all I could tell you is that everything was a tunnel vision. At that moment of me, like, trying to buy those tickets, nothing mattered. I didn't know where the fuck I was. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what time it was. Everything like was like noise to me. It was like static into everything. And then after everything was said and done, I'm sitting there on my phone, staring at the order confirmation number, and I'm reading it over and over again. And then I hear this little voice coming by. Hey, sir. Yeah, what's up, man? He's like, yeah, your fucking car's done. You could go. I'm like, what am I here for? He's like, you got the battery change. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I got a lot of shit going on right now. But yeah, after everything was said and done, I finally got my tickets to go see Tyler, the Creator in March. And I am still super fucking hyped. This is going to be my first concert ever in my entire life.
That's nice. Honestly, I've never been in a situation where being in a queue like that has, like, made me go, like, insane. Just because I really wanted to do something. But, dude, that's some dumb stuff, dude. That you pressed the check, like, to check off that you read it. Because, obviously, it's just generic terms of service jargon, so like, it shouldn't be that much. But
and it should be at the end of the sentence. Why the fuck was that at the beginning? I don't fucking get that.
It must be the website, honestly.
No, it was the app. It wasn't like that even on the website. That's the crazy thing.
It must be the mobile version of it, then, I guess.
I don't know, but dude, I was livid. I was so fucking livid.
All I know is that I've never been to a concert. I guess I definitely understand the appeal of it, the reasoning behind it and whatnot. I just like why anyone would go to a concert. For myself, I'm just like, concerts are really like call out this whole like, ooh, like I have to go. Like, I know they're great, don't get me wrong. It's just not something I could see myself doing often. Like, I mean,
I'm a socially awkward dude. I'm a hermit, but at the same time, I love music, and I'm like, man, the only concert I ever wanted to go to that I missed was back in high school. I wanted to see Paul McCartney once. I didn't go, but I regretted it, and I thought, like, man, I need to go see a concert at some point in my life, you know? Like, I'm trying to bust out my bubble, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Because I get it. Like, I understand if you're socially awkward and you don't like crowds and things like that, hey, man, I totally understand it. But for this guy, I'm willing to go.
Yeah, I've listened to Tyler, the Creator at least from somewhat of the beginning. I didn't listen to him per se. I listened to Earl Sweatshirt, and him and Earl were
an Odd Future.
Huh?
You talking about Odd Future? Not Odd Future, their little group they had.
I think it was called Wolfgang.
Well, Wolfgang, if my memory was right, Wolfgang was like kind of like a division of Tyler's thing when that was when he was doing the Wolf album.
Oh, okay. But all I
Because there's Wolf Wang and Golf Wang essentially.
so the yeah, so I mainly listened to Earl, and the reason I listened to Earl is because of his music videos, and then obviously Tyler was in there, and that's how I got into Tyler. But like he's always been one of those guys that like yeah, like if someone would have gotten me a ticket, I'm like yeah, I'll check it out. But I've never been the type of dude who like just actively goes out just to get a ticket. But yeah, even all the more reason why I kind of have this love hate like pros and cons things on leasing a car, because honestly like I obviously changing your battery, it was free. I get that. It's just I know how to do it. I know who to talk to, and
Yeah.
because of the industry my family's in, I can get it for way cheaper. Basically, I can get it at oh, what's that term called? Merchant price, because the merchant will buy it from the manufacturer. Obviously, they had a profit.
You mean like MSRP?
No, no. So MSRP is exactly what everyone gets it, but then there's so you know how stores sell.
They gotta sell it more for a profit.
Right.
Essentially.
So you know how you can get the same product online that you can get at a store for the same price? Right. So let's just say it cost me, Daniel, right, to make 1 unit of whatever I'm selling, it'll cost me $1 to make. But I sell it for $10, right? So regardless, I'm making a profit. I'm making a 1000% profit on that. So you say, "Hey, I am a shirt merchant. I would like to buy this product and also sell it in my thing, in my own place." And I just say, "Yeah, sure, cool. We'll give it to you at merchant price." And we just set up a little thing. You give me your tax IDs and saying that you don't pay taxes because you're in this state. You and I are in the same state. Yada yada yada. And then cool. Now I sell you the shirt for, let's just say, $4, right? You make $6 profit. I make $4 profit. I, at the end of the day, still make profit, but I get my brand out there anyways. So that's what companies tend to do. They would do like a merchant price, because people who buy it and they sell their own part store, they just do it. Because why would anyone come to my store, which is about 40 miles away from your store, Daniel? Because none of those clientele are going to come to my store to buy that, but they're next to you. So you have a delivery guy come to my store, pick up 10 cases of my shirts, and bring them to you. And guess what? You sell them because people don't want to drive that 40 miles to come to me. But I'm still making money that would have never made otherwise, because there it is. So yeah, that's why I guess I'm privileged in that sense, because I can I can spend less money on changing batteries and whatnot. But all I know is that, oh, dude, I would have been so frustrated. Honestly, I don't think I would have gone to the concert if that happened to be consecutively, like, nonstop, because I would just be like, you know, it's a sign. I'm not gonna do it. It's definitely a sign.
Yeah, I was determined. I was fucking determined. I love Tyler's music. I loved his latest album,
so
and I was
great,
like,
dude.
man, I would pay top dollar to hear I Thought You Wanted to Dance live. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I had to see this concert. And yeah, after everything was said and done, I am very glad I succeeded, and I'll let you know how my concert experience goes months from now.
I like saying this just to make sure, but I like saying just listen to your doctor on certain, like, I'm not gonna tell you to do something because I'm not a medical professional at all. But are you vaccinated?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that really
I've been vaccinated pretty early on compared to most people.
that really helps out. Obviously,
Have you been vaccinated?
no, and it is for the most stupidest reasons, and I'm one of those statistics that really needs to, like, get their button up and moving. And it's basically like this: there is a group of people, and it's not because they're anti-vax. There's like a significant chunk of people that didn't get the vaccine, not because they don't want to get it. It's because once they get out of work, they just want to go home. Once it's the weekend, they just want to do the things they gotta do and not think about anything else. And I'm in that camp, and I'm sort of like disappointed in myself for being in that camp. But I'm just like,
So you're just lazy.
yeah, I guess so. I think in Europe, and I think
You're not prevented from getting it. You just haven't gone to get it.
right. I've already had
Okay.
COVID and recovered from it, so there are things in, like, I think the vaccine itself, and you might correct me, anyone in the comments, that if I'm wrong on this, but the vaccine itself protects you against the spike protein, specifically the one that really causes the most issue with when it comes to you getting COVID, and this also helps out with the Delta variant. So someone like me who recovered from COVID, I think there's like 29 or 32 different like protein strands that COVID generally has, that if you had COVID already and you recovered from it, you've already built those antibodies to go with it, like just to go with it. But if you get the vaccine, you're even more so protected. And
Yeah.
just because you have the vaccine doesn't mean you will entirely not get COVID, but you will get better protections than if you didn't have it. So I'm on.
So, but you, okay, so, and let me ask you this
Yeah.
though. I got lucky. My family is in the medical field, so when the vaccines were just coming out, I got the Johnson and Johnson one,
Right.
and it was at my mom's discretion. She was like, she just told me one day, "Hey, wake up early, go to my job, and then later when you get to my clinic, we'll give you the vaccine as early as possible." I was like the first group of people I knew to get a vaccine. In most of the circle of people I knew, like at work and my friends and stuff, none of them were able to get the vaccine because this was when they were just
Yeah, when it
starting
first came
out.
out.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
So I got lucky. I showed up, got the vaccine. You know, I hurt a little bit. I did get a side effect where I got a really nasty fever for 2 days.
That's normal.
But it wasn't.
That's normal. It's
But it wasn't. That's the thing, though. It wasn't technically classified as a fever, but it felt like all the symptoms. So I was on my ass for 2 days straight. Like I was sweating. I was feeling. Let me try to remember. I had a sore throat. I had a fever. I was constantly in heat. Like I had to sleep like almost the entire 2 days just naked with a fan blowing on my chest at all times because I was just like I remembered it too because I woke up. I didn't sleep that well that day too. That probably was not helping my situation. I woke up, barely got any sleep, drove over there, got the vaccine, got home, took a shower, and then went back to bed. And when I woke up, dude, I was just like sweating and fucking like I was just like, where the fuck am I? What's going on? I was on my ass for that time. So how difficult is it for like just normal people to get a vaccine? Because I never like done the appointments or things like that.
Would you believe me if I told
Is
you
it?
it's not hard at all?
I figured, right? It's not that difficult.
In some spots, perhaps, because there's some places that have a oh, what do you call it? It's both there's
Like a
just
waiting?
one big line because it's both a testing facility and a vaccine distribution center at the same time. There's some colleges that have that, hence why like their lines can be really really long. And there's one by my father's business that is just like that. It's just long lines because it's normal, because it's both testing site as well as a site that you can get the shot at. It's at a college.
Okay.
But yeah, it's honestly like it's much easier now, obviously, especially now since the FDA is approving what was it? I think it was like 12, as low as 12 years old, in order to get the vaccine, saying that there's no negative backlashes on it, any negative side effects. I think just now there's testing being done for 5 to 11-year-olds to get the shot, because obviously now school's in session since we're now in the fall and kids are now in school, specifically here in Florida. The whole controversy about like what's going on with Florida and what counties are doing what now, but either way, like kids are going to school regardless. So there's further testing being done to within that age group for 5 to 11-year-olds. I won't.
So if you were to, if you wanted to get your vaccine right now, how would you do it?
Honestly, I can go anywhere that says you can get free. You can get a vaccine.
Free
Yeah,
vaccine,
honestly,
okay.
it's not,
Okay.
I don't know. I can't speak for any other places out there, but I just know in my neck of the woods, it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's like, hey, free vaccines.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, cool. No appointment needed. Just go do your thing.
Just show up. Okay. So that's good. At least they made the vaccination process as smooth and easy as possible. Because honestly, though, the faster we get through this shit, the better.
Yeah, especially through Donald Trump's, I forget what program he had when it came to the vaccine as a whole, when it came to, hey, like, let's get this vaccine out as quick as possible, and I think it was Operation Warp Speed or whatever it was called. I could be wrong, but
Warp speed.
yeah, it has to do with speed. But all I know is that through his efforts and his his administration that the vaccine was able to come out faster, and then through the Biden administration, they've been focusing more as well as on distribution, which is interesting. More than 2 billion people have been vaccinated throughout the whole world, so things like this is very interesting when it comes to vaccination. But yeah, I'm one of those folks that like, yeah, I'm just lazy, dude. I just after work,
get off your ass and
yeah,
go.
after work, like if it weren't for the traffic, it would be like a 30-minute commute for me. But because of the traffic, it's just like an hour sometimes. It's just ugh. So I just kind of just want to like go home, and I don't even think about anything else. But I guess it's also the whole in that mindset I had that, hey, I already got COVID once. I definitely have the antibodies on it. And it's sort of like me being whimsical about it, but obviously it's not a healthy mindset to have. But either way, if you're going to go to this concert,
Yep.
it's always like a health issue, obviously, for those who are unvaccinated. That's why I ask if you're vaccinated. But if you're going to go to this concert,
Yeah.
honestly, like, and this is going to be your first concert, are you still planning to go with your cousin and his significant other?
Yeah, because I bought the tickets for me, him, and his girlfriend.
Okay.
Like
That's cool.
Yeah.
I,
And I finally got him to listen to the album too, which made me so happy because like I've been telling him like, hey man, like honestly though, when I was going to go to this concert, I was like either I'm gonna go by myself because I didn't know anybody honestly though in my group of friends, at least personally, that were like really big Tyler fans. So you know, it's one thing to be like, hey, you like Tyler the Creator? Cool. Do you want to ship me $60 to buy tickets to go see his concert? That could be a different thing. So I was kind of surprised when I told my cousin because now he's back in Miami, so we're hanging out a lot more again, and I was like telling him like, hey man, like I really want to go to this concert. I'm really excited. He's like, oh, I'll come along with him. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude, let's go. So at least I don't have to go to my first concert all by myself, and it makes me really happy that him and his girlfriend finally listened to the album recently, and his girlfriend really liked it. Like I've been telling him like, give this album a listen to, listen to. It's so good, and I remember too, I told my cousin, like, what do you think about Tyler? He's like, oh, I only heard Yonkers. And I feel like that if your whole exposure of a musician is only through one song, especially a song in their repertoire is so out there different, and you judge that one song as if that's their entire discography, you're missing the entire fucking point.
Right.
You know? So like I don't blame him if it's like if you like don't get me wrong, I like Yonkers, but it's nowhere near my favorite Tyler song out there. But then when you take into consideration that the song is basically kind of like Tyler taking a jab at New York rappers and the way how they like write lyrics and shit.
Yeah.
Like I could understand like, oh yeah, because I think I heard Yonkers like first, and then the thing that made me a fan of Tyler's music was Flower Boy. Like I always tell the story where I was driving home from work, I wanted to put on some music, but I didn't want to listen to my usual playlist. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to Flower Boy. I heard really good things about it, and I fell in love with that album, and then I became a fan of Tyler's music. And then when Igor came out, and that's when I firmly became a fan of his. And now with his new album, Call Me If You Get Lost, is definitely not my personal favorite. It's still, I would say, ranks number 2 versus Igor. Like, Igor as a complete package is my favorite album. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to this concert, and we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
I will say, though, that when it comes to... obviously, it's all subjective when it comes to certain... what you want from certain events and what you want from certain environments, because if you like the idea of a convention because you get to see local artists, you get to see certain creators, you get to play with people who play video games and voice actors and whatnot, like a convention, I honestly believe a convention is for most people. Concerts are typically the same thing too, but much like with concerts, like what you're talking about, since this being your first concert, I honestly wouldn't really go to big public events like that unless I'm going with other people, because by myself, it's just like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, my thing was that I told my cousins, like, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm willing to pay top dollar to go to the fucking floor of the stadium, because you know, like the way how the stadium is laid out is that the concert is kind of like the main stage is at the far end of the stadium, and there's the floor section where you're standing. You're like, that's where the mosh pit is. That's where like the $200 tickets are, right? And then later you have the bleachers where it's like they could range from like, you know, $20 to $70. You know what I'm saying? So I told them, like, either you come with me and we all split 50-50, or or I pay $200 by myself and go enjoy myself at the floor. But then again, I'm not a big fan of mosh pits, so maybe it might have been better that I stick to the bleachers.
Right. I mean, also mosh pits also for those who like who are not only used to it, but also like those who can like take it as well.
I mean, I'm a fucking walking vagina. I can't even headbang without getting like a fucking concussion. So I'm not even gonna like bother with that mess.
like when I was a kid, I in middle school, I got that, and then I just kept bouncing my head back and forth until the pain went away, and I got used to it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I could stomp, I could jump around and shit, but headbanging, like the metal headbanging shit, nah, that gives me such a headache, and it always happens. And as soon as I stop, it stops hurting. But that's why I
I
can't
will
do it.
say,
But maybe I just have it. I have a big head with like a tiny little peanut ass brain rattling
I
around in
will
there.
say though that when it comes to like, right, when I was gonna say with concerts and whatnot, that, um, if you're those under the camp of like, oh, but it doesn't sound as good as studio, right? Yeah, of course not. It's a
Oh
live
yeah,
performance.
yeah.
Objectively, it's gonna sound better because you have a group of people editing the heck out of the out of
Mastering it,
basically,
everything.
yeah, putting
Yeah,
filters
yeah.
on it and everything. It is what it is. That's what you get. But like there's like I listen to all types of music. Like honestly, do I put an effort to listen to every single type of genre of music? No. But I will say though that like when it comes to like metal as a whole, in concert, like as a concert, some bands will play the music faster, and it's just a whole different energy. It's a whole lot of huge different energy because it's just like it's a lot more just powerful, and people with there who are matching your energy as well, mosh pitting and whatnot. It just makes the whole experience just like that more like crazy. And also I guess a little rant for those who say, "Oh, I don't listen to metal because of the lyrics," saying it's all about like death and whatnot. Like, yeah, some metal has that, but like people who usually make this comment listen to hip hop, and these hip hop rap artists talk about killing ops, doing this, and that. That is basically what they are complaining about when it comes to metal. And just say, it, bro, just you don't like
I
metal.
mean, like if Accept can make a song about being gay, I mean, like I don't know, like I think that's pretty progressive right there.
Honestly, I'd probably go to a concert to a little Nas X concert because I'm gay, 100%.
Yeah, me too. I haven't heard his album yet. I need to watch and listen
He's
to
a
it though.
I'm very glad he's poking buttons on people that like are treating him differently because of him being a openly gay black creator and very big.
My favorite thing is when people say, "Oh, he's using the gay agenda to further his career." I'm
Cool,
like,
cool.
really,
If he is,
really?
cool.
You mean the same thing? No, and the people saying like, "Oh, you're just using the gay thing to like make it to just push your career." And I'm like, maybe don't you think that he gets like the complete total polar opposite of maybe because he is a gay rapper, maybe a lot of people don't want to work with him?
Perhaps, but if it's just
Yeah.
tackling that like that question itself and that complaint, I'd say cool, more power to him. Let him get popular just because of his sexuality. I don't care. If he makes bad music, he
Right.
makes good music. I don't care. But if he makes great music, and people think that he's only got because of his sexuality, cool. Let people think that. I don't care.
Good for
Yeah,
him.
good for him.
Yeah. Let them take the L. Move
Yeah,
on.
it's just like whatever. But like, yeah, it is what it is. But I will say though that yeah, going live is definitely its own amazing experience. Mainly the experience of just well, then again, down here in South Florida, it is out. So some people have some of the reservations of going out to a concert. It's scorching heats, especially during the summer. It's just it. You got to see what you're comfortable with, see what you cannot do. But I will say, with like mostly anywhere, concerts are usually riddled with drugs. So like it's a prize that people are able to go through certain what do you call it? Certain security checkpoints with drugs, and it's just like it's shocking.
Well, I mean that, or you could just butt chug before you get through this to the festival.
That's true.
My personal favorite is when someone dug a hole at the ground of where the fair was going to be, and he put like a tracking device on it. So then when the concert, you just see him like digging a hole. You're like, yeah, I was saving for this moment. But yeah, holy shit, we've been going on for that tangent for a little bit. Do you have anything else to say before we get into the big news that happened?
Oh yeah, before we get into
Uh,
that, just small little things. So I'm a guy who's very very interested in law. Although I never wanted to get into the lawyer field, into the court areas because
yeah, my lawyer experience is up to essentially all the Phoenix Wright
oh
games.
boy,
Essentially, that's my entire. That's my all my legal
my
training.
main reason why I didn't want to become a doctor or lawyer is that to deal with people and their nonsense, and I'm like, nah, no, thank you. Make big bank, but deal with people and getting stressed about it, no, thank you. It's like retail, but with more steps.
And then
No, thank you.
I could be the engineer and build my robot waifu, and then later I'll have the perfect
Right.
relationship.
So obviously, when it comes to laws and whatnot, people don't know all the laws, but there's a lot of laws that don't exist, but court proceedings that do exist, and I like being up to date on that. But currently, last week I sort of touched about it that it's coming to its like ending phase, but like now we're getting even more update that it's getting worse for Epic, because Apple banned Fortnite, at what like to be on the iOS platform, and it's their legal right to do so. So says this the judge that basically was in charge of the whole case, and it looks like it might not ever return until the court or the whole lawsuit is finished, which could take up to 5 years. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is because this could set a precedent with mobile gaming and the platforms in which they're in, so like the App Store, the Play Store for PC. So some games, if you're an app developing enthusiast and want to develop your own app, well, this court case will be something of interest, because it will set precedent between app stores and or application stores where or things are set in place and your own personal apps. So I'm interested in it. I just like these things, so like I know like what to expect, and it's just lawsuits in general. I guess I'm weird like that.
So TLDR, Apple sued the shit out of, well, Epic
Yeah,
sued
Epic, yeah.
Apple because they basically figured out a way how to circumvent the Apple Play Store or App Store, whatever, to not buy V-Bucks from them because they found it cheaper to just pay directly to Epic Games. Because if you ever play mobile games, unfortunately, like me, I've spent money on these games. You're paying through the Play Store, and then through the Play Store, they get their cut, and then you get your little fucking gotcha currency that you could spend in those mobile
Right.
games. So Epic, they figured out a way how to circumvent it, so they didn't have a middleman. Apple didn't like that. Epic said that that's totalitarianism, and then they made that fucking, ironically, that commercial. Do you remember the Apple 84
Oh yeah,
commercial?
1984 commercial.
Where
Yeah.
where they swing they recreated it in Fortnite. I was like, oh, the irony.
Yeah.
So eventually, so did they come to a conclusion yet, or is that still
Well, no
in?
one really won because they both sides lost because they said, "Hey, yeah, Epic had a
Yeah.
right." I could be wrong. Please double check on everything I'm saying, obviously. But the Epic had a right to like take their money and then give their the cut to Apple, not having Apple as a middleman. But Apple had the right to say we can have whatever content we have on our own platform, and since Epic is the content they don't want on their platform, they had the right to just move them out, just to take them out. And Epic wanted to sue over this as well. I think that was one of the main reasons they were suing. So yeah, so they
Okay.
both really lost, I guess, but I think it looks like Epic lost just a little bit more. Honestly, it at the end of the day, it's just a whole bunch of malarkey.
Yeah, it's corporations like being like fuck you, and then it's like, well, we're still gonna make millions of dollars. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Apple stuff, but that's just
Neither
that's
have
just
I.
on me. But yeah, that's about it. That's the only
Okay.
thing of
Yeah. Well,
interest.
let's get to the big thing. Unless you really have something to say, because we're about to hit the 45
Yeah,
minute
let's get
mark.
into the meat
Actually.
and potatoes.
Right. So, at the time of this recording, it is the September 24th. Yesterday, Nintendo has dropped the September Nintendo Direct, and it's so crazy to think about how like long these directs happen between each other. So, we're just gonna cut through the bullshit. I'm gonna give my quick thoughts on everything that was announced. First thing that they talked about was Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. It is a expansion DLC that it's coming for Monster Hunter Rise. My thing with Monster Hunter, I played the shit out of Freedom on the PSP, dropped Monster Hunter World when it came out on PC. Haven't picked up Rise yet. Looks kind of neat, but I heard that Rise is also coming to PC, so maybe I'll get it another try. Maybe if I could get some friends to play it, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Mario Party Superstars is coming out on October 29th, and it looks really good. The best way I could describe Superstar is that not only is it a nostalgic cash grab to the Mario 64 Mario Party games, but I also like the fact that they also support online play, and it makes you wonder, like, man, this is a way better Mario Party for the same platform. So it makes me feel bad for anybody who bought New Super Mario Party, because that game felt really lackluster. It wasn't bad, to be fair, though. It wasn't a bad game, but it did feel like that it needed a little bit more time into the cooking, especially those boards, man. Those boards are way too fucking small,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
they
But
try to make the game faster, but
whatever. I mean, anything's better than the fucking Bowser car. Like, that shit was like, okay, you guys are trying way too hard to do something different, but this looks like it has none of the appeal of Mario Party whatsoever. This literally sounds like the participation trophy problem that we have in this country. So, fuck that. Let's see. Voice of Cards. It looks like a very traditional, RPG card game for the Switch. It's also coming to PC. Skip that. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity expansion pass content. So yeah, we're still looking forward to Age of Calamity Wave 2 expansion content. Haven't played it yet. I need to still play Hyrule Warriors. That game looks pretty fun. The first game that got me legitimately excited was Chocobo GP. Basically, it's a Mario Kart game, but based in the Final Fantasy universe, and you get to play as a Chocobo and White Mage and V from Final Fantasy 9. I think that looks really fucking cute, awesome, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. No Smash Brothers character reveal for this presentation, but we don't have to wait that long because on October 5th, our boy Sakurai is finally going to reveal our last character, and all I can say is I really hope that the last character they announce is Scrimbo Bimbo from the classic 3D platformer from the early 2000s that we all grew up to play. That I think that would be great. If there's another Fire Emblem character, I will lose my fucking shit. But we'll just move on from there. New Kirby game got announced. You know what? I never thought I'll say this, but a fucking Kirby game in a post-apocalyptic land. I'm totally down for that shit. Because Kirby is perfect material for this shit. Because Kirby's terrifying. He is a terrifying creature, but god damn it, this game looks really fucking good. Like this
for those who have never played a Kirby game. Kirby's one of those games where...
For the two of you who haven't.
Right, so those who don't understand... Like, there's some games that obviously keep it, like, a little bit more mellow than most, but all I'm saying is that Kirby's very wholesome, very nice, but then, like, it turns out that Kirby's actually fighting actual dark gods, and things get, like, really, like, wow, he's actually fighting...
Oh, you're fighting the guy who stole your cake, tee-hee, he's such a bad... And then he becomes, like, a fucking Bloodborne boss with all these, like, Lovecraftian designs, and, like, Kirby's like, boyo!
He consumes the void, wants to destroy the whole galaxy, and Kirby's only mad because, hey, man, you took my pudding.
Took my fucking cake.
Yeah, so that's why I really love Kirby games, because it's just...
Someone took my cake and I'm going to destroy everything.
Oh, what? He's going to destroy the universe? He's as strong as the actual Big Bang? Okay, and? I don't care. Oh, wait, what?
Bet.
He took my cake? Watch this. And it just mollywops him.
What?
That's why I always love the Kirby games. It's always so fun.
Yeah. So yeah, Kirby in the Forgotten Land looks hella fucking dope. Really looking forward to that. They announced more Mario Golf Super Rush content. I still haven't played it yet, but it looks fun. I don't know. I've my thing is with like these Mario sports games lately, especially on the Switch, like they keep coming out and they always say like, oh, additional content coming in later, and I'm like, man, like that just makes me want to wait for the game to come out later. But then again, this is a Nintendo game. These games do not drop in price at all. So if you're gonna buy them, just buy them. Like if you're gonna, don't wait for a price drop. The likely chance of this ever getting a price drop is little to none. They announced Disney Magical World 2, so this is the closest thing we're getting to Kingdom Hearts, and it looks like dog shit. But then I found out and I read into it. Yeah, this was originally a 3DS game, and that explains so much because the models in this game look awful. They look just bad. They look like PS2 models right now, and it just really looks bad. You know what's funny, Marcos? You know what? They announced the Star Wars the Knights of the Old Republic remake. Yeah. Well, the Switch is getting the original. Yeah. And it comes out on November 11th.
I don't think the remake is going to be an exclusive to just one console,
though. It's never been confirmed that it's an exclusive, but I highly doubt it's going to come on Switch.
Yeah, I doubt it as well. I don't think it's going to be one of those things that's going to be like the Switch can handle.
Yeah, no, well, speaking about games the Switch can't handle, the next game that they talked about was Dying Light 2. I was surprised. I was like, "There's no way in hell that they were gonna get Dying Light 2 run on the Switch," and I was right. Yeah. So unfortunately, though, Dying Light 2: Stay Human is coming to the Switch, but unfortunately, though, it is a cloud version. So for those who don't know what that means, Capcom started this trend with Resident Evil 7 coming to Nintendo Switch. Was that you buy the game and you're not buying a download copy, you're not buying a physical cartridge that plays off the system itself. You're paying access to play the game on Techland servers over to your Nintendo Switch. I thought that was really fucking lame. But hey, at least they're releasing the first Dying Light game on the Switch natively, so that's kind of neat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. They talked a little bit more about, man, I gotta love like Square Enix and their RPG name titles. Like, we had Project Octo. Now that became Octopath Traveler. Now we got Triangle Strategy. I can't wait for they release a first-person shooter called Shoot Gun. I can't wait. I can't wait for Square Enix to finally release a fighting game called Punch Kick. I just love their fucking names, and I can't wait for this game to finally come out. It's going to be like Triangle RPG strategy game. Like, I love the name. I just fucking love the name.
Hey man, it's gonna be simple. So, they're gonna keep making this generic nonsense. That, listen, if you ever played Kingdom Hearts 3 with, it almost became like a movie because there was barely any difficulty in the game. I swear, Kingdom Hearts 4 is just gonna be called movie, a movie. Yeah, basically a playable movie. It's a movie with a health bar. That's all it's gonna be. Because honestly, Square Enix, I don't know what's happening now, dude. They're funny. They're really funny.
Have you ever played a Kingdom Hearts game on Proud Mode though?
Yeah, it's not that
Proud Mode level 1 critical.
Listen. I will say this: Kingdom Hearts 2 Proud Mode and critical mode, amazing. Mm-hmm. That thing really just makes your butthole pucker. Kingdom Hearts 3, I mean, you gotta turn off a lot of things to make it challenging. One thing, 100% you need to turn off if you're playing those modes is those attraction rides, because those attraction rides come out way too often. They just the game's too easy. The game is literally brain dead. And honestly, it's Proud Mode and critical mode. I'm not impressed, like, at all. It's not something that I'm like, dang, this is hard. It's not. I got tired of playing it because it didn't bring back the.
I just dropped it because I just didn't have enough time to play it, and I was getting kind of bored by the. And I got to the Frozen Lane, and I was like, man, I'm kind of petered out. I'm sorry
to hear that. Yeah, it's the worst.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get back to it eventually when the PC version actually, gets a discount on Epic Games. But I'm not gonna hold my breath over it because it didn't. It got like a 10% discount, but man, I don't know. Like, Epic really needs to just figure out a way to sell the complete collection for $20 because, man, it's a little too late to start selling these games at full price again. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. You ported these games over, but man, most of the time when a game gets ported to PC later, they still charge it at a discount. So the fact that they're still selling each individual collection for full price is beyond ridiculous. Yeah. Like, if they were to sell the entire collection for $60, maybe you have an argument. Maybe I would be a little bit more justifiable. But the fact that they are selling each individual collection at like full retail price and then later, I don't know. I just think that that's a little too lame, man. Like, every other day I could go pick up the entire game collection plus Kingdom Hearts 3 plus all the DLC content for 20 bones.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's too much of a hard sell, but whatever. Let's see. Metroid Dread. Listen, man. Nintendo has proven my point that they absolutely do not want Metroid Dread to fail. Now, if you're a Metroid fan and you still don't fucking buy this game and you're wondering why Nintendo doesn't give a shit about these IPs, there's your excuse. Because I don't think this game is going to flop. I don't think it's going to be a Star Fox Zero situation. We're still waiting for Metroid Prime 4 to come out when the Switcheroo 2 comes out. We'll figure that out. Mm-hmm. But Metroid Dread cannot fail because this is going to be Nintendo saying, hey, we know you fuckers want this IP. We're going to give you a fantastic 2D Metroid game to hold you over until Metroid Prime 4 comes out
but yes,
years later.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, here's a little bit of something that you and me and Marcos could talk about. So, Nintendo has finally added more content to their Nintendo Switch Online service, which I'm I'm excited for, but very hesitant. The good news is they finally have decided to add N64 games, and not only N64 games, but Sega Genesis games, which is pretty freaking cool. Now, unfortunately, though, there is a little problem why I have a little bit of an issue with that. You guys remember when Nintendo released this little thing called Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and they kind of like really debated the shit out of you, telling you, hey, man, you better buy this fucking collection because once March rolls around, this fucking collection's gone. Mario dies. He's going to die, dude. And guess what game got announced for the N64 collection added for the NSO service? Mario 64. So now it makes me wonder, well, shit, if they were going to port Mario 64 on the fucking Switch Online service, what stops them from just going to GameCube? Going all the way to Wii 3 years later?
Don't get your hopes up, because the GameCube is one of the worst like the Wii U relatively was better than the actual GameCube, because the GameCube they basically bombed. Obviously the PS2,
True.
the
Well, I mean,
Xbox.
the GameCube did better than the Wii U, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. But I doubt that Nintendo just doesn't acknowledge their GameCube franchise. I mean, their GameCube like games.
It's just one of those eras where they're just like, let's not do this anymore. They only did the whole Sunshine thing because they're able to sell the whole package. Honestly, it's just but when it comes to the honestly, it's still worth your money if all you care about is playing Mario 64 and nothing else, because you have to pay a subscription in order to play the N64 and Sega Genesis titles, which is part of your membership thing, right?
Well, that's the thing though. That's where I was going to get to the bad news. Nintendo has confirmed that there is going to be some pricing changes because of the extra content, which really fucking bums me, because I remember there was like an article that came out a couple years ago where like they're like, hey, they're going to add more consoles to the NSO service. It's going to be really fucking good and blah, 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 blah. And then they said, no, we're not going to add it. And then there was like a rumor saying that like, oh, if you do add it, we're going to have to charge you extra. And Nintendo said that we're not going to add it, and we do not have any plans for increasing the prices for the NSO service. And the fact that they've confirmed that, yes, we're adding this content, plus there's going to be pricing differences. You know, they said that, oh, existing members can switch over, but I'm assuming there's going to be an increase. Now, I doubt that Nintendo's going to charge $60 for this if they're not insane. But yeah, this kind of bums me out, because now I'm kind of like teetering, because it's like, you know, with NSO, even if it fucking sucked, it's $20 a year. Like, it is, you know, and I'm a stickler. I'm an asshole about like paying for a subscription service when I don't feel like I need to pay for it, especially for simple things like basic online connectivity. I don't think you should be forced to pay for it, excluding like specific cases like MMOs like Final Fantasy 14 that has the extended free trial that allows you to play up to the award-winning expansion pack Heaven's Ward. So, you know, just saying. But my point is, though, that like services like Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, I've always had problems with them, because I feel like that you made the online free and then you added a cost to it for no fucking reason. And that's how I looked at NSO, where it was like, okay, you did the same thing, but at least, you know, they're only charging $20. I don't agree with them taking my goddamn $20, but at least it was $20. You know what I'm saying? Like, no harm, no foul.
Right.
Meanwhile, Sony and Xbox is charging you $60 a year, where it's just like, you know, this is cool and all. That's why I think like the original PlayStation 3 model was so much better. You had free online, but you also could pay for PlayStation Plus if you want it. And I'll be like, okay, that's cool. But when you take off a basic feature like online gaming and then you put it behind a paywall, that's where I have a problem.
Right. I mean, at least Nintendo doesn't have much to do with its online services anyway. Like, just recently they just added the whole Bluetooth thing to the actual system, but
Thank God.
honestly, it's not much of an upgrade, to tell you the truth. And honestly, there's no voice chat capabilities for game chat. It's just like even if there is, it's just it takes an arm and a leg just to do all of it. And it's just not worth it.
Yeah, to this day, I've never, ever touched my phone for the NSO content. I've always just been like, all right, cool. I'm playing my Switch. I'm going to boot up fucking Discord and get my friends on, because fuck that shit.
The only way I would actually recommend any service for like subscription to play Nintendo Online is to do a family plan. I'm currently the owner of a family plan, and it can hold up to 8 people. And I have I have my limit on the what do you call it? On the family plan. I think it's like $35 a year, and it comes out to like way cheaper for everyone.
Right.
Like even just having 2 people in the family plan, it's much cheaper than just getting the membership just for 1 person. But I have it full, so 8 people, right? So it's a lot more worth. How that's going to work with family plan, if they even do the family plan on it, I'm not too sure, but I hope.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I hope.
But okay, so let's put a bet right now. How much you think the price increase is going to be for the additional content? I'm willing to bet an extra 10.
Yeah, somewhere between 10 and 15 I guess is a safe guesstimate.
So total will be like $30 or $45.
Something like that.
Or $35.
I'm more interested to see what they do with the family plan, because that's obviously what I have.
Yeah, they said that existing members will be able to switch over to this bigger content, but we'll have to wait and see. Nintendo also announced that they are making an official Sega Genesis commercial. I thought that was kind of neat. Nintendo is making a Sega Genesis commercial for their Nintendo system. What a time, man. Can you imagine like going back in the early 90s and telling someone that, like, hey, man, years from now, Sega's going to go down. They're going to team up with Nintendo. And years later, Nintendo's going to make Sega controllers for their system.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
It's the same
nutty.
thing like people saying, hey, Steve from Minecraft is going to be in Smash. It's the same thing. Like,
pretty much.
like no, it's not. Minecraft and Smash? Get out of here.
Cloud is going to be in a Smash Brothers game with Sephiroth. So it looks like that the launch titles for the Nintendo 64 online service is going to be Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi Story, Sin and Punishment, fuck yeah, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis, Win Back, Convert Ops, and Ocarina of Time. The Sega Genesis games at launch are going to be Castlevania Bloodlines. That's freaking cool. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Yeah.
Contra Hard Corps. Yeah, fuck yeah. Dr. Robotnik Mean Bean Machine. That's such a good. Echo the Dolphin. Fucking garbage. Stupid.
I love that game. And the speed run on
Fuck that game.
Amazing, dude.
Fuck that game.
Why are you so mad, dude?
I hate it. I hate it so much. Golden Axe. Love Golden Axe. Gunstar Heroes. Hell yeah. Musha. Phantasy Star 4, Rystar. We'll never forget our boy Rystar. Remember Sega? Remember Rystar? Remember Rystar?
I'm so glad they added it.
Shining Force, Shinobi 3, hell yeah. Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2, and Strider. Funny, no Sonic 1.
They have Sonic
weird.
2, but not 1.
But not Sonic 1. That's weird. So now we have like 3 different versions to play Sonic 2 on the Switch. Yeah, the Sega Ages version, the Genesis Collection version, and now we're going to get it for the Nintendo Switch Online service.
Yeah.
So they said that the future games later to be announced for it. I don't have the list, but I know that the 3 games that got me really excited that are going to be coming to the N64 editions is going to be Majora's Mask. Fuck yeah. They're also going to add Paper Mario. So this is going to be the first time a good Paper Mario game is coming to a modern Nintendo platform. Because honestly, though, I am so sick and tired of hearing like people say that like, oh, Paper Mario Color Splash was really good. And he's like, no, it really isn't. You're just like, you're lowering your expectations for every Paper Mario game after A Thousand Year Door to the point where like anything that's even remotely decent is suddenly really good. And it's like, if you ask these people like straight up, like, look, between Color Splash, Origami King, and A Thousand Year Door, which would you rather fucking play, you know?
That's true.
So it makes me happy that Paper Mario N64 is also coming to the Switch. That's pretty freaking cool. And not only that, though, Banjo is coming home. He's coming to a Nintendo system.
It's so cool, dude.
Oh, I'm so happy. I still remember when Sakurai was telling people, like, Banjo-Kazooie is being added to Smash Brothers. If you want to play his game, you can play it now on Xbox One. And I just thought, like, man, that is so fucking cathartic. I love it.
Because they own Rare, dude.
Yeah, but that's so fucked up, you know?
I mean, I guess. Like, I guess that's true, yeah.
Well, you know, I'm just glad. I'm definitely looking forward to play Banjo on my Nintendo Switch. Speaking about old games getting re-released, Castlevania Advanced Collection. 4 games are coming to the Switch. So basically, it's all the GBA Castlevania games plus Dracula X, which is a shit port of Castlevania Rondo of Blood. So that's pretty neat. I always like Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance because I always like Juste Belmont's design. But I think that's pretty cool. I don't think a lot of people talk about the advanced Castlevania games. Generally speaking, when people talk about like the Castlevania portable games, they always talk about the DS titles. You know, Dawn of Sorrow, Order of Ecclesia, and oh my god, which one is the? It's not. Wait, it's not Dawn of Sorrow. Oh my god, what is the Castlevania games on the DS? There's Order of Ecclesia. Let me see, DS games. There we go. See, not Dawn of Sorrow. Portrait of Ruin. There we go. That one's pretty good too. But yeah, Order of Ecclesia is pretty cool. I like Shinoa. She's always been one of my favorite Castlevania characters. Another classic game that's getting a new fresh coat of paint is fucking ActRaiser, a fucking Super Nintendo launch title game. This game is so freaking cool. You play as not only as God, but you play as a warrior sent by God himself to defeat monsters and shit. It is so cool. I was so excited and happy to see that they're bringing back the ActRaiser. And the fact that it dropped on the day of the Direct is so fucking nutty to me. That's crazy. But, yeah, so they say now ActRaiser, Deltarune Chapter 2 just recently came out, and it dropped on Nintendo Switch, so that's pretty cool. And now the ship posting. So, Miyamoto, the legend himself, comes onto the Direct, and he says that they have announced the casting roles for all the characters for the new Mario movie that's coming out in December, in holiday 2022. Our fucking character for Mario is Chris Pratt, of all people, from Guardians of the Galaxy. All I can imagine, he's like looking at him getting that role, and he's like, man, I'm really glad I did Guardians of the Galaxy. It really paved the way for my success into becoming fucking Mario in the movie one day. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. Anya Taylor-Joy for Peach. Charlie Day is fucking Luigi from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That came out of nowhere. And then my boy Jack Black is Bowser, dude. Can you imagine a Tenacious D but with Bowser? That's gonna be awesome.
Rock. Yeah.
Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong, and all I'm gonna say is, dude, Donkey Kong is gonna be a pot smoking Rastafarian with his boy Diddy. That's gonna be fucking crazy to me, dude. Let's see who else they added. Charles Martinet isn't gonna be Mario.
No, but he's gonna. But he is the voice of all the plumbers, though. Like he does the voices of all the plumbers in the Mario series as a whole. So
yeah, Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what that means, because if they're just keeping it hidden, I mean, if Wario and Waluigi are there, then honestly, that's all that matters. Because
I'm going to bet that he's going to be a narrator.
Maybe
that's what I'm betting on.
Probably.
But here's the thing, though. I've been noticing this trend on Twitter lately. A lot of people, there's a group of people that are just like laughing their asses off, like, oh my god, this is ridiculous, ha 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 ha, they got Chris Pratt. But a lot of people, and I do mean this, a lot of people are really pissed off with this casting. And from what I can understand, at first I was a little bit confused. I was like, man, these people sound like they just don't want to have any fun about it. But the reason is that, okay, so a little bit of context. You've seen Aladdin by Disney, right? The original?
Not really.
You never seen Aladdin?
What, is that some sort of like taboo that I don't watch Disney stuff?
Oh, okay. No, I'm just, but you don't know anything about it.
About it, I just never watched it. Like in its entirety, right. I just know about it.
Okay. Well, you basically know what. It doesn't matter. The point is, though, is that you know that Robin Williams play as Genie, right? The late great Robin Williams plays Genie. So here's the thing. I looked into this. It turns out that Robin Williams agreed to do the role as Genie for Aladdin for Disney, but he made a thing towards Disney where he said, okay, I'll do the role, but here's the thing, though. You cannot use my name and presence as a way to promote the film, essentially. Because he predicted essentially this problem to where a lot of Hollywood studios wouldn't hire, like, talented voice actors. They would hire talented actors, like, on-screen films to do voice acting. And I've always hated this fucking trend. Like, I never understood, even as a kid, like, why the fuck do I need to care about X A-list actor being the voice of Spike from the fucking Rugrats when Vin Diesel was, no. It wasn't, who played Spike on the Rugrats movie? Spike.
I think Vin Diesel was Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, hold up. Gone Wild voice actor. It was Bruce Willis. There he goes. Bruce Willis doing the voice of Spike the dog from the Rugrats Go Wild movie. And it just felt kind of weird because, like, they were doing this interview like, oh, how was it like doing the role? Like, how'd you get into it? And blah, 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 blah. And he's just like, doesn't know how to give an answer. He's just like, I just show up and do the script. You know what I'm saying? And that's essentially what Robin Williams was pointing out, that he's like, he doesn't want, like, animated film studios to not hire talented voice actors and just hire, like, a bunch of A and B list actors to do the voice acting when they're not really good at it. Like, they're really good being on camera, but they're not really good at, voice acting, essentially, right? Yeah, there's just some that are just awful at doing it. So I see why some people are just, like, kind of are really mad at it. They think that, like, this is kind of lame. But I'm going to look at this and be like, fuck it. I'm here for the shits and giggles. If the movie does well, good. If it fucking flops, I'm still going to get a laugh out of it,
right.
So, yeah, speeding things to along, they announced more content for Splatoon 3. They brought back my girls Callie and Marie, which makes me really happy. Looks kind of cool. Let's see. Anything else? All right, here we go. The last bombshell that was announced for the Nintendo Direct. We finally got our girl Bayonetta back. She is fucking fine. She's perfect. She's precious.
Basically, the reason why the whole Direct was rated pending to mature.
Pretty much. And it makes me so fucking happy. We were losing a shit. I love the act. My favorite thing about that, though, was when they give you, like, that fake out where they thought they were going to make an Astral Chain 2, but then it turns out it was just Bayonetta coming in. And, dude, I am excited. And the fact that we finally got a release here because, man, people seem to forget why, like, we made fun of those articles saying that, like, Bayonetta 3 development is coming along fine. Bayonetta 3 is coming along fine. It's like, dude, you announced it. You didn't show Bayonetta at all. And you just said it's coming along just fine. And exactly what happened with Metroid Prime 4. They announced it. They didn't give a release date. They didn't give anything about it. They just said it's happening. Yeah. And, you know, people were just kind of worried. Like, man, when the fuck is Bayonetta 3 coming out? And we finally got a release here. And it makes me so fucking happy. I'm so glad that we're finally getting Bayonetta 3. I just got to get around to playing the first 2 games.
Oh, boy. Yeah, a lot of people are going to hate for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like, I already bought Bayonetta 1 on PC when that dropped, and then later I bought it again when I got Bayonetta 2 because it came with a free copy of Bayonetta 1. So I got to get around to playing those games again. But hey, at least I have, you know, a year to look forward to. So finally, we're seeing our baby girl Bayonetta back. I am excited. This Direct was hyped as shit. A lot of cool things to look forward to.
I guess for my opinions on the whole Direct, I wasn't too excited for it. I thought, well, I guess from the top down, much like how you did it, I found it funny that Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC was called Sunbreak, whereas Monster Hunter World was called Iceborne. So I guess they're making fun, like, I guess they're using that trope of, like, opposite of ice, I guess. It's the heat. So it looks interesting. Monster Hunter's never really been a game that I would play all that often either. But yeah, the only really things I got super excited for was obviously Mario Party Superstar, because when we covered that in our podcast, in what do you call it, back when the last Nintendo Direct, I was looking forward to it because I was big into Mario Party, and hopefully this game did better than Mario Party Top 100, which is the top 100 mini games, which sort of did okay. It wasn't too it wasn't too exciting for, like, there was a lot of mixed opinions, but honestly, it doesn't have that much replayability as most Mario Party games. So hopefully having a fresh coat of paint on basically the N64 maps and games, mini games would do a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. When it comes to just everything else, honestly, Hyrule Warriors, I didn't care too much about it. Disco, what was it? Disco Elysium. I didn't care too much about it. Voice of Cards, I didn't care. I did find funny about the Chocobo GP because obviously in the Final Fantasy universe, especially with the Final Fantasy 15, Chocobo was all about, the Chocobo meme was all around, especially to the point where even one of your characters, one of your party members, they kept getting mocked at because his hair looked like a Chocobo, yada yada yada. So like the whole meme is finally becoming its own game, and I love it.
One of the few twinks of the group, essentially.
Obviously, when it comes to Kirby, Kirby, I don't think has ever had a bad game. If you like,
debatable. It is debatable. They're harmless at best. Harmless. Yeah, like at worst.
But like it's
yeah, like you can't.
It's not like,
I can't think of like a legitimately bad Kirby game. At best, it might put me to sleep.
Right.
But like, you know, Star Allies wasn't bad, but it was kind of like, the game came out a little too early. They added content later on, but you know, look, I've always told people my favorite Kirby game has always been Air Ride, and it's only because of the Lost City stage. Like that's it. It's like that is the apex of Kirby for me.
Basically saying it's neutral is not bad. It's just that.
It's harmless at best. Basically, at worst, I mean.
So, like honestly, like.
But yeah, Forgotten Land looks pretty cool though. I think that like the different perspective looks hella cool.
Right, and we did get like a release date on that as well. Animal Crossing has never been something I've been interested in, but it's getting its own Direct.
My villagers think I'm dead in that game. They probably think I died in my house.
Oh,
I have not touched my island in months.
I will say though that when it comes to Mario games, they do sports games rather well, and especially this golf.
If they're not a cash grab, Some of them have been garbage. Some of them have been fucking garbage.
Right.
We haven't gotten anything as good as Mario Strikers, in my opinion.
That's true, but Strikers was its own, like its own, like bag of worms.
Mad Max fucking game.
That game was so violent.
Did you ever hear about the one that they wanted to do a volleyball game but mixed with fucking wrestling moves?
So I wasn't aware of that, but I will say though that
it got canceled essentially. But you find the animations, you see like Mario like doing a DDT on fucking Yoshi and like power bombing his bitch ass.
The only thing that Mario has as a standalone Mario game and that involves volleyball that isn't Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games is in Mario Party 4. There is a mini game option with volleyball where all you could do is play against computers. I think you could play against other people, like obviously in the same console, right? But it like fighting against computers is like really difficult. But like, yeah, either way, Mario Tennis, Ace Tennis, whatever it's called, super violent game, super like crazy game. And what's this game called again? The Golf Tour World Tour.
Mario Golf.
Heard nothing but great games.
Super Rush. Mario Golf. Super Rush.
Yeah, great stuff about it. So that's really it. The only other thing, obviously, Metroid Dread. We get to see more gameplay of it. Looks interesting.
Are you gonna get it?
Probably. Maybe not at the beginning, but probably. Yeah.
Okay.
The whole new membership subscription thing, only to play more like new games. Honestly, unless
new quotations,
new like on a new platform, I guess. I don't know. Like, I definitely get it if they use the original N64 version for Mario 64, which I doubt. They're probably gonna use the patch version.
Highly doubt.
But one thing that did came good out of it was if you do plan on getting it, you could buy a N64 and a Sega Genesis controller that goes along with it. So I'm very interested in how
I'm gonna save you the trouble. Buy the N64 controller, assuming that it has good quality, because there's a lot of clone N64 controllers that are fucking garbage. But do not spend the $40 on the Sega Genesis controller. There are way better, affordable controllers right now on Amazon that is readily available to you, that works on Bluetooth, and it works on your Switch, and it works on other devices right now. Save the $40 for the N64 controller. Do not buy the Nintendo one. I highly doubt it's going to be anywhere as good as any of the other Genesis clone controllers.
The same reason why I didn't buy the GameCube controller that came out for the Switch, because they're only AA's. They don't allow wireless. They don't have any of their own batteries that you can charge via USB-C cable connected to your Switch. So like, I didn't buy it for that reason. So hopefully it's not the same.
You know what? That's a good point. Maybe if Nintendo made like a wireless GameCube controller, but it plugs into wireless USB-C. Because to be honest, so there's companies that do make their own GameCube controllers, but they're really bad and clunky, and they don't look as good, and they don't feel as good. But to be honest, so I never really cared about the fact that it wasn't wireless, because it's like, I'm gonna play Smash Brothers with this. They won't let you use wireless controllers anyways.
Yeah. So, other than that, the game roster, honestly, much like with the Wii, had its own virtual store, and they had the Smash, N64 Smash, right? The original Smash. I don't think they're gonna put Smash 64 on this new this new console, like the retro console thing. But
for the Switch,
but one can hope. One can hope. But like, yeah, when it comes,
but we just want Melee, damn it.
Yeah, I don't think that, especially with the whole free Melee thing, like, yeah, Nintendo wants to separate itself from Melee, honestly.
Nintendo releasing a competent product that doesn't force their fans to make their own, because that's what fans do. I don't think fans come together and be like, you know what, let's just make a better Melee to really hurt at Nintendo's pockets. What the fuck, Nintendo? No, your fans are doing it because they want to play Melee on a more accessible platform, and you can't provide it. So people are going to do what people do.
Right. And one thing, and since we're talking about Melee, I've been looking forward for Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Nickelodeon's already has already done games like that, platform fighters, but this game has been heavily influenced, especially by competitive Smash.
You have fucking wave dashing.
Powdered Toast Man is going to have wave squatting, which is only one thing that the Spaceys, and by Spaceys I mean Fox and Falco, have with their shines. So it's going to be highly competitive, and it's coming out October 5th. Oh, but what's that? Sakurai is going to announce the last character the same day for Smash.
As it comes out.
I feel like that was just a dig at
very petty move. Yeah,
obviously, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It probably wasn't. However, one can only make, it was all coincidental,
right?
And
I mean, Nintendo's done it before. They did something similar like that for Rivals of Aether, where they announced the character at the day right before the game was coming out for Switch.
Right. So I will say the only thing that would really convince me to say like Nintendo only did this to be petty is if they announce the last Smash character and they release it that day, the 5th.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking
That
funny.
would really affect their sales and whatnot. Because like, yikes. Because Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl looks like one of those games that's really going to be big in the competitive scene. Because obviously the all the public Discord messages that we saw from the devs have been super positive on the competitive and casual scene. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. But
And for anybody out there who says like, "Oh, I don't think the game's gonna have a competitive league," listen, let me tell you guys something. In the inner circles of the fighting game community, there's this extra layer of hell, right? There's a Super Nintendo Sailor Moon fighting game, and is like the worst, most unbalanced dog shit fighter I've ever played in my life. People to this day still play that game competitively. It is a clusterfuck of problems. What's that? You blocked the move, you blocked the super. Well, guess what? Now it does double the damage than if you unblocked it.
oh,
I'm not fucking with you. If you block a super, you get taken more damage through chip damage than if you were just to take it purely without blocking.
oh,
Yeah, it is a clusterfuck, but people play because they just love how shitposty it is.
but yeah, when it comes to Nintendo Direct, obviously, following from the events.
Anything else that?
No, not much, but just my opinion on it as a whole. But following the Sony showcase. Honestly, the showcase was a showstopper. Everything about it was amazing, except for like maybe like 1 or 2 games where you're like, hey, that's cool.
No, I think this Direct was way cooler.
This Direct,
way. Yes.
Like I have to disagree.
Then again, before anybody says it, yes, it is completely subjective. For every 100 people that lost their shit for the E3 presentation for Smash Brothers when they announced all the characters, listen, that's all I fucking needed for that presentation. I want to see everybody come back for Smash Brothers Ultimate, and they delivered. But for those who did not give a fuck about Smash Brothers, and you told me, you know what, that's cool that you enjoyed it, but for someone who doesn't play Smash Brothers and didn't give a fuck about it, hey man, that's totally justifiable. I cannot get mad at you for those reasons.
Yeah, I guess to just wrap up at that point, it's just more things of value were announced in the Sony's showcase. A lot of new games, a lot of upcoming games, like gameplay wise, like a lot of great more things were announced in this Nintendo Direct. But other than that, honestly, it was an okay Direct. It could have gone better, but then again, I'm biased against Nintendo anyways.
That's true. I mean, that's why like I hate like when people say, "Oh, Microsoft won E3, Sony won E3, Nintendo won E3." Look, if you're a fucking fanboy, Microsoft could drop their pants, take a shit on the stage, and then you still get fans who'll clap their hands and be like, "There you go! Only Microsoft could do something so brave. It was a showstopper." Like he just took a deuce on stage. I know, isn't that
Apple
great?
fanboys be like
yeah, like that's the point. Like that's why you can't argue with people like who won the presentation. Like who gives a shit, you know?
That's true.
But yeah, this Direct was super hyped. I'm super excited. A lot of cool shit I got to look forward to in March, and definitely got a lot of cool things to look forward to next year. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap. Actually, holy shit, we went on for an hour and a half. So with that and everything said, Marcus, do you have any quick things you want to say before we go?
No, just this is a good time, I guess, for like news, being hyped for like upcoming games, upcoming products, upcoming everything. So it's a nice time to be alive, I guess. So anything that'll help you get through the day, knowing that hey, I'm gonna be playing this game in the future, go right ahead, man. I'm looking forward to these games coming out. Hopefully they come out great without any issues. One can only be optimistic.
Yeah, and hopefully Bayonetta 3 does not get a delay, because holy shit, after that reveal, man, the hype is through the roof. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening to the DKM podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure you follow us on Twitter. And also, if you want to join our Discord server, we have a Discord server that I have for you guys to join our part of our little community. We're trying to make it grow over time. If you haven't yet, also, you could make sure you can listen to us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Google Podcast, Spotify, anywhere where there's streaming services. We're gonna try our best to get Apple Podcasts to let us in. You know, hopefully after we shit talk on Apple for a while, they'll still let us in. But you know what? I think if I put my cock on the table, I think they'll listen to my argument. And you know, they'll point and laugh, be like, "Damn, that's pathetic." Yeah, your podcast is going to be on our show, on our service. We'll put it in the top for you, you pathetic loser. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap, guys. Stay safe. Thank you so much for listening, and take care.